What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Ignore Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that Coyote Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Thank you so much for making this a part of your day. Let's get right to it. Angela, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about Parthenope. So Parthenope is a woman who bears the name of her city. Is she a siren or a myth? So I want to preface this by saying we did not know anything about this movie going in, or at least I didn't.
Yeah.
And, you know, I appreciate that a lot of the cast is Italian, but the only face I personally recognized was Gary Oldman.
Of course.
Of course.
Same here.
But I didn't really know what to make of it. All the things that, you know, read online didn't really give too much, which I really liked because they didn't give away too much. I feel like most like trailers and stuff give away too much.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think we had said this going in, this movie was going to be a trip. You said that early on. And I really believe it was. It was kind of trippy a little bit. It had a lot of elements to unpack. But it essentially boils down to a young woman, beautiful, and she's just discovering the love of her city, love for herself, love, you know, in general.
Yeah, just in general.
Figuring out her life. So I think that's just a very simple storyline that it boils down to.
You know, a lot could say about this movie. I talk about films and the cinema and the way movies are shot. I talk about that a lot. Cinematography. We talk about that a lot in the Movie Talk studio here. And one of the things I do want to say is that the reason why I became a movie critic, I was going to say film critic, however you want to say it, was the fact that for movies like this, movies that are artistic, movies that have these abstract, evolved obstacle course of just like trying to tell us a story, but not dominating it down for us, really showing us the art of their environment, Nepal, Italy, and just seeing all that, seeing all the way it was shot and everything. One of the things I do want to say is that this movie impactful, and movies are impactful to a certain degree, and I'm a firm believer of that. I love movies, how they impact you I've been in situations where we go to a screener and something happens, and then boom, and then the movie starts and it impacts you in so many emotional grasp and just changes your mood from the beginning to end. And I love that. I love that in cinema. I love that in movies. And they influence us, whether we believe it or not. They influence us the artistic way and everything, in good or bad. Now, talking about this movie, explaining why I really talk about that, because for me, honestly, in my point of opinion, I feel like that I would not say Americans, because this is a foreign film. This is obviously filmed at Italy, and it has that Italy audience grasp and has that filming style, because I've seen a lot of other films like that. After really contemplating it, after really like meditating on it, I'm just like, okay, this movie really captivates in an Italy form. It really does. It's beautiful. It's really good shot. The colors, we saw that. We saw how much environment they get out of this, the atmosphere, everything, even little parts of the food here. I don't know if you did or I did, but I thought Gary Oldman was going to have a bigger role in here, but it's a very minimum. And I was just like, okay, cool. All right. Anyone could have done it, whatever. But needless to say, I still had a good time watching this movie. And it's just, I feel like that average moviegoers are not going to like this movie. And I could see why.
Yeah.
I could fight that argument.
To start off with, like I said, it's just a very simple storyline of like a young woman, beautiful, who's just trying to like live life essentially. And it is over 2 hour film. It's like 2 hours and 14 minutes. So it is a bit on the longer side, and you definitely feel it in some parts. I agree with you. I think the shots were beautiful and stunning. Like the way it just captured like the Italian coastline, the beauty, the culture, the charm, the culture. It was just so stunning in that aspect. And I hats off, props to the cinematography for this, because it blew me away. And I do think it did drag a lot. That was one of the cons. As much as it was visually stunning, I do think there were parts of the story that did take a little bit of time to get there. It does, I think, feature a good part of when she's young, like 20s, 30s. It
really highlights that a lot.
Yeah,
and we get to see that because it's young and the way the Greek mythology behind it.
We're all young ones, right? I mean, so it's beautiful, it's stunning. I do think also another con was it's trying to be too artistic for its own good. It's trying just a little bit too hard. Yeah. It does have some moments, like I said, it's a little trippy, that you can't understand what's going on. I know it has a deeper meaning, deeper message, but me personally, I just didn't quite grasp what it was trying
I'm gonna
to
be
convey.
brutal. I'm gonna bring on the filthy. I think there was a few moments in here that I could have cut, for one, and two, a few moments that were pointlessly weird, and they were just did not add any value to the film. That's just me. I'm not saying everything was. I'm just saying that this movie could have probably been about an hour 45 minutes. I probably could have done it out there, and it probably would have been a little bit better. But still, over 2 hours, it's definitely you're feeling it in a way. You really are. But I mean, it just I feel like the average moviegoer, this is not the movie for them. I would say.
Yeah, I don't think the majority audience are gonna see this. It is rated R, by the way.
Yeah.
So it does have graphic scenes, sexual scenes, but I agree with you. I think just the pacing and just how the story unfolds. I agree with it. I don't think the average moviegoer is gonna enjoy this. But I will say, positive. I absolutely loved the main actress, Celeste.
Yes,
I think
Celeste. She did great.
Such a great job. And I'm not familiar with the Italian cast. I don't know how many projects they've done, but I would like to see her more in films. Regardless if they're Italian or American, I just would like to see her
just
in more films.
in a big movie.
Yeah,
in a big
and
budget
I would
film.
like to see her return. I think she did such a phenomenal job. Same thing with Gary Oldman. I think he had a really small part, but still did really good. It's Gary Oldman.
I mean, all eyes on him.
Right?
All eyes on him, and I cherish those moments and everything. So,
but overall, what would you say? What would you say you would recommend this?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say politely no, just because it doesn't really. Usually, when films like this, they literally stick or they don't, and even for the most part, people are going to be entertained. They're watching a movie to get entertained, and I feel like that if you love that artistic films, you're gonna be entertained. If you don't, you love the popcorn movies, a simple story, an hour and a half movie, action, thriller, horror. This movie ain't gonna be for you. I'm sorry. It's not. And
nothing wrong with that.
And
it's just everyone has their preference.
And that's why we watch movies so that way we can. You guys don't have to. You know what I'm saying? It's like we let you know what's the deal. We let you know what's going on in the world of movies. And so like And when I think about it more though, I kind of like there's a few shots that I kind of was thinking, I don't know if this is cheesy or not. I was kind of thinking like, oh man, this is a really cool commercial, almost like a cologne or perfume commercial, especially a lot of the water shots.
It just captures
all that.
Yeah,
there's so many
Naples,
so many perfumes or colognes that capture like it's
so gorgeous over there. Again, I would love to go over there and to have her grow up there, and because I think part of the story is she falls in love with the city to where she doesn't want to leave. So I completely agree. See why.
And I love journeys like this. Don't get me wrong. I love, and that's really the thing that really I attached it to is the journey from growing up and everything. You get to see her really go through the struggles, and you get to see her really become an older person. You see that. You see the what moments she cherished and memories. I love that. I love it when we get to see a lot of those like flashback journey history there, and I love seeing characters really go in depth on it and really like just not dwell on it, but just really think back and be like, man, I remember. And it's in the whole part of the film and everything, and that's why I just love journey movies like this, and just that really take a toll on you and really get to really kind of dissect life in a way, and it's very deep meaning and everything, but it took a long while for it to get to that point. And so Fair. Do I cherish those moments? Yes, I do. Those moments are what I talk about in cinema, film, and what we talk about here at the Movie Talk Studios, what movies are all about, impactfulness, and to have an impact on your life and have an impact on what you're watching. But all right, but let's go to ratings real quick. So ratings 1 out of 10, 10 be the highest. Angela, what do you give this rating?
Like I said, even though it was gorgeous, shots were stunning, that couldn't save the movie for me, unfortunately. Okay. So I would give it a solid like 4.5, just because I wanted to love it, but it just it didn't quite stick for me. The pacing issues did unfortunately bring it down a little bit for me. Not a knock on acting at all. I think the cast was phenomenal.
For me, it was
just the story and how it was told, and just it took a while to get to where it needed to go.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna to piggyback off you. I would say that I feel like this movie wasn't edited. In a way, I feel like it was just going like it just. If that makes any sense, not to knock on the director or anything like that, but it just I feel like that this movie was very like you said it already. too artsy for its own good, and I felt like that the runtime really kind of knocked on itself, like really added to the grading of like being negative more so, because
more harmful than good.
More harmful than good. There you go. And so, all right, guys, well, I'm gonna give it a solid 4.7.
Almost average.
It's just, it's sad to say. I really expect a little bit more, but knowing that this actually A24 bought this movie, so that was really cool of them, and I can't wait to see this in theaters. I can't wait. And again, we go back to where, like, yes, if you're the audience goer for this, you have to be into these artistic films, into movies like La La Land, or movies that are just very abstract, and they're just very parallel for its own good. And that's me putting it politely. It's just, and to say this is the best artistic, no, it's not. There's so much more better movies out there that are so much more artistic and so more beautifully shot, and I'll give it at that point. Like Nosferatu, the story wasn't good, but man, that movie is shot beautiful. I loved every single scene. Visually, every single scene is so beautiful, so great, but the story didn't hit with me. So we go back to those characteristics there. So those characteristics of the film and like what it means, and so, I really enjoy cinema. I enjoy filmmaking, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the lighting. We talked about lighting, in that one movie where like there was a ghost or something, like it was in the house. And we saw that, and we saw like those dark elements. They were filming in a house, and the lighting was so damn good. Every corner was in the light and everything. But
something about being presence.
Yeah, presence. Yeah. So that movie was so damn good too, as well. So like we get to see that really unfold, and we got to see that really just like use the environment, use what you're given. And I love and appreciate filmmakers when they do stuff like that, and it goes a long way. It really does. But all right, guys, there you go. There you have it. 4.7, and yours was 4.5. 4.5. All right, guys, thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Stay tuned for other movie reviews, and do not forget, like, share, and subscribe, guys. Hit that little bell notification, and thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Ryan680.
I'm Angela Dakarianj.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. See you at the movies. Latest.